Hello.
Hello, how are you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Fancy meeting you here.
Fancy seeing you here. I'm thinking about going to the beach today. Do you want to come?
Maybe in about 2 weeks' time.
In about 2 weeks' time? Yeah. You've been busy preparing for Country on Keppel. Tell us what you've been doing and what's happening.
Yeah, so we've got festivals are few and far between at the moment, and they're the team on Great Keppel Island. We were supposed to have it in July, but Rona. And they've decided to still go ahead though and be able to hold it in November, which is fantastic. We had to reshuffle the lineup a little bit because we had to make sure that all the artists were in Queensland just because of border restrictions and uncertainty over that. But the artists who can't come this year, they'll be back next year. Don't worry. So it's gonna be a really good time. So it's November 13 to 15, and we're on the countdown now.
And can people still get tickets?
Yes, yeah. So there's no accommodation left on the island, but you can still get tickets, and there's packages that are $120, and they include all your ferry transfers from the mainland across to the island and your ticket to the festival. So it's a great ticket for a massive weekend.
So if you're in Queensland, there's really no excuse to not go.
I would, definitely.
I will be there in your shoes, watching you, wishing I could be there.
Putting plenty of photos and videos up, so don't worry.
I'm hoping that you'll be doing that for us because I'm going to need that to live through. Well, we have lots of guests tonight and we have a lot to get through. So thank you everyone for joining. Hi Trish, hi Jan. I can see that you're in the room. If you've got any questions while we're going, please pop them up, and anything for this artist in particular that we've got on the screen at the time, send us a message, and if we can get to it, we will. First up though, we've got James Blundell joining us from not near the beach. Hi, James.
No, but a long way from the beach.
Not near the beach at all. But are you packed? Have you got your swimmers ready?
I'm going from one day to the next at the moment, but I'm thoroughly looking forward to going to this event. I know that much. It's a lot of fun. But there will be swimming. So there will be swimmers, or there might not be swimmers. There may be swimming and no swimmers, as in clothing, optional,
Your brother did something today.
Yeah, no, I've just sold the festival completely wrongly. It's wonderful. Go, bring clothes.
Yeah. No, definitely bring clothes. So you've done this festival before, James, last year for the inaugural festival. So tell us what it was like last year.
Well, it's a major pet project personally because my brother Peter's HR and human resource at Keppel, and he just adores the place. And last year, it was the year before that he started talking about it. Anyway, I said, what do you reckon we have a country music event on Keppel? And I said, that's like the best idea I've ever heard in my life, because all Queensland kids at some stage are going wind up at Keppel Island. It's a bit of a, it's just part of the psyche of the state. And it's not a huge festival site, but it's the coolest thing in the world. There's a beautiful grassed area in front of the stage, which backs onto sand dune, and off to the right, you've got all this absolutely pristine water and white sand, and on the left is sort of jungle, really. And it's just a really cool place. Yeah. You never know what's going to come out of the jungle. But the thing I like most about last year is it is so relaxed. It's just, there's big timber boardwalks that go down to the accommodation areas, and you're always passing somebody who's off to go and see an act, or they're going back from seeing an act, and everybody talks to each other. It's very, very cool. It's fantastic.
It just sounds perfect. I'm really jealous.
And it's pretty much the only festival, country music festival we have in Australia that's run on an island.
Yeah. Yes.
That I really don't know of anything else. So, unique is one thing, but it's unique and good. It's not like, oh God, like we survived that. It's one that I said to Pete in the first year. You're figuring out what you want to do over the years coming is actually quite important, because once word gets out, it'll be one of those ones that everybody goes, I should have been the first one or the second one, and then you'll be flat out getting a ticket, and it'll, the more people you add, the less intimate the whole thing is. But no, the first one was brilliant. The second one will be, and it'll turn into a major annual event. So, if you want to go now in the next year before the queues get longer, basically.
Yes. Well, I do plan on coming next year, but I don't think I could get out. We wasn't sure if I'd get out of Tassie, so we didn't even try. But we're hoping.
And even getting back into the hard part.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I can get back in, but the 2 weeks that I'm not allowed to work for or see anyone, I don't know how it'd go.
Well,
what have you been doing?
Well, sorry, just to finish off on that part, my two smallest children were to come with me, and because no one knows what's happening with border closures and restrictions lifting and blah, it looks like they're not going to be able to come. So everyone's very empathetic about people not being able to travel, and it's just a really difficult period of time for everybody.
It is, but I think we're doing really well to get through it, and hopefully we're sort of heading towards the back end of it, I hope.
Yeah.
What have you been doing to keep busy during this time?
If anybody listening has ever been raised on a property, you don't have a list of activities. You have a scroll, and you peel off about a metre at a time, work your way through it, and try not to look at how much is left on the master roll. So I've had more time at home in the last 8 months than I have in the last 33 years, and I was Gracie, because we've known each other for a long time, and sort of she knows my background very well, but the privilege of having that period of time at home that also coincided with the end of my father's life, and he and I were very close. And had it not been for COVID, I would have been away for 4 of the last 8 months of his life. As it turned out, I pretty much was involved in his care up into his last breath. So I'd be one of the very few people on the planet who really appreciates what it brought to us. We've got a lot of work done on the property. We've got our horses back under control. We're slowly but surely putting fences back together, and we destocked in 2017 for the 2018-29 drought and 2019 drought, and we're the start of rebuilding the property. And I've spoken to Beck off out of the media sort of spotlight, because one of the things I've been wanting to do for the last 3 or 4 years is start to bring some entertainment onto the property. And not a lot like the same vibe as Keppel is not to have these huge multi-thousand people events, but boutique events, a couple of motorcycle challenges and a couple of musical performances, a bit of soft eco camping. So all those things are keeping us busy for the last week's 8 months. But I'm very, very cognizant of the fact I'm a very, very privileged person to have those options to take my mind off the lunacy that's going on around the planet.
Yes. No, it sounds like you've definitely had a very up and down time, but you've, come out at the end, which is great. What do you have planned for the rest of the year? You've got Country on Keppel. Have you got anything else coming up?
Yeah. Sorry, the kangaroo just shot past again. Welcome to the world. We've with everybody, our last performance was the 15th of March. And the performance after that was 11th of September in Darwin, because there was an open border between Queensland and Darwin. And then we just played last week, Thursday night at Caloundra, Saturday night up in Mount Isa. And then I've got 3 in a row. Having done nothing, I go to Yeppoon this weekend, Evans Head the following weekend, and then Country on Keppel the weekend after that. It's like, hang on, I've forgotten how to pack a suitcase. So it's all a bit, it's a bit like the new kid at school again, nervous and worried about getting to the airport, missing flights. I'm worried about that for 20 years.
I think there's a few people who are, I know I've spoken to a few artists who are, getting back on stage. They've been getting back on stage in the last couple of weeks or month or so, and they've all gone, oh, we've forgotten how to perform. I'm like, it's like riding a bike, you'll be right.
I was saying to someone exactly that. The muscle memory's there, but you forget there's a massive amount of emotional and energy exchange between audience and performer. Yeah. And that live performance, that's what you're vulnerable or whatever artist is supposed to be, and the audience determining whether or not they're engaged to come along for the ride. There's a huge amount of dynamic, and it when you haven't done it for a while, it's like, oh Christ, I hope I like it.
You've had the taste of both worlds now, haven't you? Quiet and the busy. Well, I know, Beck, we're talking about taking turns here. We're both jumping in. What was you going to say? Sorry, I saw you moved to talk. No? Oh, you were just... There have been a lot of people pop into the room, and people are saying hello to you. Everybody is here. And there's been a lot of comments saying that COVID has only made Australian music stronger, which, yes, I think it certainly has. Have you got any new music coming in the next little while?
It's been, another period. When I first started in the industry, a lot of the music I'd written was sitting on the back of a horse, never knowing I was going to have anywhere to apply it. And I think in hindsight that I've been at my most creative when I'm actually not on tour or on stage, or it all sort of happens as part of my day-to-day thought process. So yeah, there's a lot of music to what I've got to do now is stop fencing and sit down and record it. And anybody that plays guitar will tell you that getting the calluses on your fingertips is a slow, painful process, and when they wear off, getting them back is really painful. So I've got to get the calluses off the palms of my hands and back on the tips of my fingers.
And before we do,
yeah,
sorry,
I believe Metho is good for that.
That's what Tommy Emmanuel taught me that years ago. I reckon to get a saucer, like the teacup and saucer, get the saucer, fill it with Metho, and your fingers in it, and then tap them on a hard surface, bench top or a tabletop, and he reckoned that was the, well, if he hadn't played for a while, he believed that was the only way he could desensitize his fingertips so it didn't hurt that much.
Yeah,
but it's really, and Jade will get this too, that when they start to reform, you get the first week they become blistered, and then the callus forms over the blister, and then that's like so sensitive it's not funny. It's like ow, 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 ow.
Oh, goodness. Lots to look forward to, isn't there?
First, really.
Well, true. Now, before we do go, we were talking a few minutes ago that the kangaroo that ran across in front of you, you've been looking after her this whole time.
Oh, she's a story in her own right. Brian and I had just done, sorry, radio call incoming. Brian and I finished our last, it's a farm, a property.
break on that.
just 1 second, I actually let them know I need to know they're not broken down. Just stand by. This can only make it more real. Copy 12, mate. Hey, I'm just on an interview, and are you broken down? Are you okay?
This is great.
Copy, mate. Thanks for that. I'll be back to you soon.
So country, so country.
He's going to come to the beach eventually.
So, Rona turned up the 16th of March when we got back from the last gig, and we were all going, what the hell? And we'd had her for a while, and then Parks and Wildlife turned up one day and said, you're not licensed to raise a native animal. And I didn't know when. I said, when did that come in? They said 1987. I thought, oh, I suppose I missed that one. Who knew? So then she was taken away, and we were all devastated. Back my fiance was here, and my oldest son Brian was here, and we were just devastated. The local wildlife carer called the next day and said, did Parks and Wildlife come and take a kangaroo from you yesterday? I said, yeah, they did. She said, do you want it back? I said, yeah. And this delightful woman is 84 years of age. She is just the most amazing woman, and her husband is the same, and they just look after everything that gets hurt around the place. And within 24 hours, we had her back, or 48 hours. And the only thing that happened, she learned to suck a thumb. So I think it was a reasonably traumatic experience for her.
Wow. No kangaroos did that.
She's a complete nutter. She's nuts.
I think you should bring her to the island.
I would love to. Her predecessor, Jolene, travelled with me a lot. But they do this thing called hooning, and it's actually part of their adolescent development. And she'll be just there, and then she'll just go like a bat out of hell 3 times around the garden, which is probably half an acre. And you go, she's just going to blow up. And then she'll go the other way. She's entertained us endlessly since she's been part of our lives. And one of these days she'll hop over the fence and go and fight a boyfriend, and that'll be a desperately sad day. But that's what happens if you raise a bit of native wildlife. And anybody listening who wants to make a problem out of it, I'm now a certified wildlife carer. So there.
You're licensed now. Fantastic.
I'm fully licensed. Anything with feathers, fur, or fins, I can raise it if it's an Australian native. So there.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We actually have somebody else ready to join us into the room. Maddie Cornell is waiting patiently. Hi, Matt. Thank you for joining.
Hey there, James. I've just learnt lots listening to you, mate.
Mate, I think you've got a much better grip on real life than I do.
Mate, kangaroos suck their thumbs. Is that for real?
If I could just show you, I can't because I can't dial up quick enough, but seeing her standing in the sunlight in the morning looking thoughtful with her, that digit on, you go, she looks like she's not quite right in the head, and it's hysterically funny. She is a very, we'd come back out of the paddock yesterday, and we had just over an inch of rain in 40 minutes, and I was concerned she'd be out getting wet. No, she was in the laundry, and she was bone dry. She's gone, no, I'm good in here, thanks.
She's smart.
Thanks, she's very smart. But it's good to see your face, mate. I'm thoroughly looking forward to seeing you on the island. That'll be great.
Yeah, likewise, mate. Really looking forward to seeing you. Mate, I'm looking forward to doing a bloody gig. My last gig was in January. And
wow.
Hearing you talk before about the calluses, because I'm a bass player, they're like a whole other level of callus because, you know, the strings are so much thicker and stuff. But I've got to start playing now so that I'll be ready in a couple of weeks so that I won't have big blisters on my fingers.
Literally do yourself a big fat favour because I thought I was over it. No, you're dead right. You've got to do it for long enough for them to reform because, as you know, as you're just saying, that is not fun. It is not fun.
There's nothing worse, mate. Sometimes you gotta have a couple of beers just to numb the pain. I'm using that as an excuse.
Medicinal purposes.
Yeah, medicinal purposes.
Or you could drink the metho.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
That's
whatever.
I was in the pantry one day and I was getting metho out, swab off a tick. Well, the people do this stuff, it can't be that bad. So I poured a little into the cap because you got to have time for research, and you got to do it. I've just put a bit of taste doesn't go away for a week, and I was actually saying, I just said, probably tries metho. He's got bloody rocks in their head. And the number of people that came up after the show and said things like, it's not bad if you put lime cordial with it, or if you get it cold, it's not. How many people are drinking this?
So how many people have tried it?
That's
right.
like a whole other level of desperate for alcohol.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I think we'll
Desperate
stick to
times.
I'm going to get out of your road, mate. Listen, I'm going to stay in the room and listen to you and be thoroughly entertained.
Mate, I'll see you in a couple of weeks, mate.
Cheers, mate. You take it easy. See you, girls.
Cheers,
take it easy.
Yeah, mate.
See you soon.
Welcome.
He is such a character. What a character he is.
I'm going to throw the challenge out for you to beat that because he had a radio call and all prepared for this show.
My God, he's got the walkie-talkie. He's got the kangaroo jumping around. I got nothing.
You've got
I've
the boss.
got nothing.
Are you ready for the beach?
Jenny?
Are you ready for the beach?
Oh, am I ready? I can't wait. Look, I'm stoked, one, to have a gig. As I mentioned before, my last show was Tamworth this year in January with Mike Carr, Cornell and Carr. It was around like the 20th of January. I can't remember the exact date, but that's the last time I've done a show. So I'm absolutely stoked to be on this lineup, and it's a festival like no other. The more I look into country on Keppel, you know, I don't know any country music festival that's on a tropical island. So I'm so excited. My band can't wait. It was a bittersweet thing for me. As Beck mentioned earlier, there were some acts that were meant to be on the bill from New South Wales. And one of my really good mates, Jasmine Ray, I think it was her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Jasmine.
Yes, happy birthday.
So happy birthday for yesterday, Jazz. And I believe I'm sort of taking her spot. So it was bittersweet for me, but she'll be there next year, bigger and better than ever. But yeah, I can't wait. And the weather's going to be warming up early November.
I know.
Yeah, look, I'm very excited about it.
Well, I've got my tab and my son's and these, and I'm just going to sit here at home and watch all of you.
Oh, you poor thing.
Mm-hmm. But
is there any talk of the borders opening down there, or what's the story?
They opened this week, and didn't know for sure because originally they said December 2nd, and I'm a bit late to book, so next year.
They opened in New South Wales this week, so yeah.
Well,
next
I know
year.
Beck and I have been keeping an eye on the border situation here in Queensland because we don't really know what's going on. But look, I believe the borders are going to be opening up very soon.
Yes.
If not, I've heard rumours about Beck hiring a helicopter and getting dropped off.
I thought you were tunneling under the water.
Smuggling, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I think at the moment, Victoria, their restrictions are getting rolled back. Things are starting to happen. I think just seeing what's happening down in Victoria, so many businesses that are being closed. And the sad thing is for me, when you see iconic streets like Lygon Street and places like that, where all the shops are empty, they've got for lease signs up out the front, it's pretty surreal. So I think we've been very fortunate in Queensland to have sort of not been anywhere near as affected. In New South Wales, they've sort of kept the place open for the most part. But look, for those that are watching tonight and are able to get to this festival, I urge you to get a ticket because this is going to be like nothing you've ever done before. Being on a tropical island with a bunch of country music artists, it's going to be a very relaxed atmosphere. It's COVID safe, of course. And I believe there'll be, one or two cocktails will be getting consumed on the day.
Not by us, by other people, other people.
Of course,
other people. I've heard other people. But yeah, look, it's going to be great. It's going to be such a great atmosphere. As Beck mentioned earlier, all the accom on the island has now been sold out, but there's still plenty of accommodation on the mainland. There's some really good packages. Get on it, folks. If you're thinking of coming, don't hesitate.
And I've been saying all year long, when that first festival happens, when we get back to the first festival, how big is it going to be? And this is that festival.
Absolutely. I think it's correct me if I'm wrong, apart from maybe some of the smaller ones, I don't know of any festivals apart from things that may have happened pre-COVID, but there's just, all the festivals that we know of, or that we all know and love, all the country festivals have all been, postponed. So yeah, it's kind of surreal. It's kind of surreal thinking that I'm doing a show in a couple of weeks because this has been the longest time in my adult life I've gone without doing a show. And so much about what I do is communicating and through music and being on stage and that kind of thing. And I've missed it so much. So I desperately can't wait to get up to Keppel.
Yes, I cannot wait to hear how it goes and see. I'm hoping everybody does some lives for us so we can all enjoy it.
I'm on the job. I'm on the job.
Yeah, best is live.
Yes. Now, I know you're an artist and you're going to go through Keppel as an artist in your own right, but you also have Kickback. Is there anything coming?
There is. We when the borders up here opened very briefly, Mike was able to come up and we recorded a couple of songs with Stuart Stewart, producer in Brisbane. And one of those songs is going to be the next single. We are planning the release. We just don't know when. Beck's had a sneak peek of the song. It's a little different to our first album, but we are planning the release. It's been a bit challenging with Mike living in Sydney, me on the Gold Coast, borders closed and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Cornell and Carr, we've got some new stuff coming out. And in the new year, I'm going in the studio for my next lot of solo recordings. I haven't put out an album since 2017, I think. So I'm due. I actually wrote a song with a good mate of mine, Drew McAllister, the other week on FaceTime. And that could be possibly the next single. So I'm keeping as busy as I can and also cooking up a storm in the kitchen.
Oh, I was going to say, tell us what you've been up to during COVID.
Well, look, I'm always looking for new recipes. In fact, I send quite a few to Beck. We exchange stuff on Facebook. So in the last week, I've done this marrying Grasby, who I'm a big fan of. I think she was on one of the MasterChef series. I cooked this amazing sort of steak stir fry the other night, and I cooked a new curry the other night and made papadums for the first time.
Oh, really?
But cooking for me, Danny, during lockdown in particular, I wasn't really putting up any music content. I was just trying to put up stuff, just lighthearted stuff to keep people entertained. And for me, it was cooking. I sort of found that on Instagram in particular, I was doing a lot of sort of instructional videos and showing people how to cook and bringing people into my kitchen. I was able to do a segment on Paul Burt's show, Step Outside, where the camera crew came in and filmed me doing some cooking. But like Brandy, cooking is a big part of my life. And I've really enjoyed sort of, sharing a lot of my cooking tips and stuff on social media.
How fantastic. It's made me hungry, that's for sure.
Oh, sorry.
I was telling Danny about the beef dish.
Yes, I did see a photo of that, and I'm like, wow, where's that recipe?
Pretty good.
You'd send it. I'm still waiting for it, but I will get it. Now, 2020 has been crazy. You've got Country on Keppel. What have you got after that? When's your next gig? Anything
the following weekend, the barn at Wombat Flat on the 20th of November, and I'm playing at the Noble Kapunda, putting on an event which would usually have been a rodeo, but with COVID it changed. They've now got an event called the No Bull concert series. A good friend of mine, Brooke Supple, and a bunch of other local bands are doing that. So that's the weekend after Keppel. And if you've seen on my social media, I've just put up a post about doing a bunch of house concerts. Again, it's sort of with borders closed and regulations affecting venues. I can't do my harbour cruises at the moment because there's not, it can't have enough people on the boat. So I'm going to be doing a series of house concerts, not only this year but next year, until things sort of start to get back to normal, where I can do ticketed shows and get numbers to events. But right now, most of the shows I'd normally do, you can't even break even because the numbers are too small. So yeah, I've got a little bit coming on. So yeah, I've got South Australia the week after Keppel, and the next thing I do will be Country on Keppel, and there's some great acts on there. Yeah, and one of the acts I'm really looking forward to seeing is Saltbush 6. Some of the members from Keith Urban's band, The Ranch. I've never seen them live. I've heard they're great. And I get to catch up with my mate Brad Butcher, who's recently become a dad. And, Jade Holland, who we're going to be chatting to. There's Anna Farquhar. There's Caitlin Shabbolt. There's some great people on this festival. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
It's fantastic. And I think everyone there is going to love it. And it's going to be even bigger as well. How can people get onto you for a house concert? Is there any contact?
If they jump on my Facebook page, there's a contact there. Off the top of my head, I think it's Oz House Concerts at Outlook or something like that, and just speak to Jacob. He's looking after all the house concerts for me. I've already had a bunch. I think I've locked in about 6 now, so the dates are getting snapped up. But the way the house concerts work, I basically will go to someone's house and they turn their house into a venue. They're pretty cool. I've done a lot of them over the years. And I just sit there, tell some stories, tell some jokes, have a beer with everyone, sing some songs. They're a lot of fun. So get on my Facebook page if you want to find out more about the house concerts.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. We have somebody else waiting to come and have a chat. Jade is sitting patiently. Jade Alicia.
Here she is. Hey, Jadey.
Hey.
This is like a warm-up for 2 weeks time.
I know the difference will be in a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, Danny, you won't be with us. You'll be there in spirit, but the three of us,
FaceTime are in.
Yeah,
the three of us will be actually having a drink together. But anyone who's in Queensland or can get to it, please get a ticket. Come along.
Absolutely. Jade, what a big day for you.
It's been huge. It's been really good, but I guess you don't realise when you're on the go, you're like, yeah, this is awesome. And then you start to slow down. You're like, ooh, I'm really suffering.
You better grab a drink.
You know what? I'm overdue for a celebratory champagne. I've done it every single time I've released anything in music.
Come on.
And I haven't had So
we can help you there. We can help. Matt, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great time in 2 weeks, and please stay in touch.
You. Thanks, Danny. We'll have a chat soon. See you, Beck. See you, Jade. See you guys in a couple of weeks.
Excellent.
See ya.
Wow. We've been busy tonight, Beck.
Sorry?
We've been busy tonight.
Very, very busy. But I was sorry?
What's behind you? You got your towel ready.
I've got my towel ready. Jade. I'm ready.
Oh, you're all prepped. I feel like I'm missing out now. This is the best I've got. Is this beautiful?
Oh, that's do you know where it was taken? Do you know where it is?
I actually have absolutely no idea. It was a gift, and I thought, oh, that's really pretty. It'll look really nice in my lounge room.
Perfect. Well, you're in Townsville.
I'm actually not. So I don't really, I'm a bit of a gypsy. I'm like your typical musician, but I moved to Newcastle about 3 years ago. And then at the end of last year, before COVID, I decided, you know what, I'll come home. So I moved back to Brisbane. And then I thought, nah, I need to be closer to mum and dad, and I wanted to save some money and buy a house. So this is the funny part. On my birthday, on the 16th of December, I was going to say on my 16th birthday. I'm a little bit off that now.
On your 21st birthday.
Yeah, that's right. So on the 16th of December last year on my birthday, I decided to move back with my parents. And I thought, what I'm going to do is I've got this big tour planned and I've been saving some pennies. I was like, I'm going to buy my own house. And then COVID hit and I got stuck with my parents. And I was like, fantastic. I'm a 30-year-old living back at home with my parents.
You did make some great videos.
Yes.
Look, do you know what? I know that it's easy for us to kind of pick and pull apart how bad COVID was, and don't get me wrong, it you know, really was horrendous, and I'm terribly sorry for everyone, especially, you know, the Victorians and stuff coming out of lockdown. I'm so excited for you guys, but it did so many great things too, because I personally, I wouldn't have got to spend that time with my parents. I would have thought, wow, it's so uncool to be a 30-year-old hanging out with your parents, you know, like, and I genuinely got to hang out with my mum and dad. And because just before COVID hit, I'd actually finished a show in Melbourne on like the 10th or something of March, and I was driving back home, and on my way home I called my nan and I said, I'm not letting you stay in Sydney by yourself during COVID. We don't know what this thing's going to do. So in my parents' little 3-bedroom house, we had my nan, myself, and my mum and dad.
Wow.
Yeah. It was entertaining at best, and there was a couple of bottles of wine to be had per week to cope. But you know, I think it was genuinely nice to hang out with my nan. You know, she lives in Sydney, so I wouldn't have seen her for those 6 months. And you know, mum and dad. You know, it was funny actually. Dad works at Ergon Energy, and he was, they said to everybody, obviously, you know, we want you guys to be safe, so feel free to work from home, take your laptop home. And Dad said, is everyone else in the office going home? And the boss said, yeah. And he said, oh, I'm going to stay here. I got 3 women at home.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Ricky has just asked who Jade Delicious is. Jade is in Holland. So we are about to talk to her about Country on Keppel, but today she's had a very exciting day, and she released her single, Do It Right, and it is really good.
Thank you.
I was saying to Beck on the way home, I was listening to it, and I said I had to repeat it. It was too good to let it stop.
It's like, you know what's funny? When I release new music, my mum always says to me, oh, you know, is that song coming out anytime soon? Because I've had enough of it. And then give it about, she's listening right now, she'll send me a message going, don't tell me that. Don't be the bad guy. But it's funny, yeah, she always says, you know, oh, I'm sick of hearing that song. And then give it like 2 weeks later and she goes, I really like that song.
It's a bit like that when you get music, because I look after publicity, and I've had your song for a while, and people's songs I get, you know, months or whatever weeks before they're released, and And then it's funny, like when it comes out, you're like, oh, that's right, that's not actually released yet. And then it comes out, everyone can hear it. And you're like, come on, I can't wait till everyone can hear it. And it was the same. Right. It was the same with this song. What do you love most about Do It Right?
For me, honestly, actually, there's a few things I loved. I like shocking people. I think, and doing weird things. I don't like to be normal. I don't want to be normal. I don't know what that is. So when I wrote it in the studio in Nashville last year with Messi and Bruce, I said, I've got this idea for a song. It's really weird, but listen, hear me out. This is my hook line, and it was, here's a little piece of advice when you're breaking my heart, do it right. And Brucey, I remember him looking at me going, that's really dark, man. Do you really want to run? And I was like, yeah, I do. Like, when you break my heart, do a damn good job of it. So I'm not coming back for round 2. And he was like, exactly. All right, we're doing it.
I get that. I think that's great.
Yeah, I just like that it's for me, I wanted it to be an empowerment song. When you kind of, and it's a very harsh word, but when you sever a relationship, whether it's business, friendship, a personal relationship, you want it to be done right so that you don't go in and get screwed over a second time. You're like, no, actually, do this properly so I can walk away with confidence and I can get on with my life.
Yep.
And that's it.
Love it.
It is really upbeat. It is a great song. Wow.
Thanks.
You've got the film clip out. What has everyone's reaction been to this song and the film clip?
The film clip is so cool. Like I said to Maddie before we came on, I was like, if you watch it and you feel like smashing stuff, I apologize. What it kind of channels is like I guess when you're in some kind of a friendship or a relationship and the other person doesn't realize that every little thing that they do is actually hurting you. Some people are blind to that. They don't know their surroundings and what damage they're doing along the way. And so that's I've got my friend John O'Bell in the film clip, and he's smashing things left, right, and center. And and to be honest, I'm just going to put this out there right now. He volunteered to smash the mirror. I did not ask him, and there's a contract in place about that. So, like, you enter at your own risk, my friend.
He's a bad luck for him now.
Yeah, I think it's been good. Everyone can kind of. I've had a lot of people say, "Wow, it's really cool to know that other people kind of think like that." And I guess when we all go through our own relationships, whatever they may be, we're all having a different experience. Even though it's still a breakup in a format, And I didn't want it to be a stereotypical, breaking up. I'm going to throw all your stuff in the yard and light it on fire. I've done that. So I experience, and I need to move on a little bit so that people know I'm not still writing about damn love songs.
She's not just all about that and crazy.
No.
It's all about burning their stuff. That's right. I love that.
It runs out. You can only burn it for so long.
That's right, yeah.
Country on Keppel, how exciting to be on this lineup.
Do you know what? I am so excited. Firstly, I've never been to Great Keppel Island, and I have played in Yeppoon a few times now, and it is stunning. So I can only imagine how gorgeous Great Keppel Island's going to be. But to be able to play country music in the sand with your friends, and as well, I can be part of the audience when I'm not on stage, and I can sit there and enjoy the music. I'm so stoked.
Yeah. I'm not really jealous. I'm so jealous. But
it's up for your daddy, and you're not going to be there.
Next we'll FaceTime her in. It'll be fun.
You can FaceTime me in, and I'll have the wine at home. And you know what I'll be able to do? I'll be able to sit in my pajamas while you guys are about to get on stage in your uncomfortable clothes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I expect to see you in the backyard on your little chair with your beach towel and your goggles on your head.
Yeah.
And you put your hand in the esky.
I can do that.
I think I've
got the esky out there already. No. Tell us what have you got any other shows coming up this year after Keppel or before Keppel? Probably not before.
Beck's nodding because she knows this.
Hang on, what weekend is it? Yes, we've got a weekend.
The day before Great Keppel Island. Well, Great Keppel starts on Country at Keppel starts on the 13th. On the 13th of November, I am playing in Townsville. So it's going to be the single launch for the Do It Right tour, which I'm super excited about because it's, hometown feels. That's probably the most nerve-wracking show for me. So I always get that out of the way first and I can just chill for the rest. Yeah. So I'm doing that, and we finished there at about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And then I have hired my partner and my mum to drive in the middle of the night. I was like, there is no bloody way I'm missing out on Country at Keppel. And so we're driving in through the middle of the night to be on the ferry at 9 a.m. At Yeppoon to go to Keppel Island.
Yeah. That is perfect. That is how much you are.
It is. But, we're all excited to be going, and what an experience. That's what country music's all about. I've always opted less flying and more driving so that you can see the countryside. Not that you can see it in the middle of the night, but it's the story.
Yes, that's right. You have been to those places.
Yeah. That's it.
I didn't see them, but I was there. Yeah.
Yeah. I drove through there. I saw the street sign in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's right. It was in the headlights.
Yeah.
Now, and you're doing the grand final for the football. Is that this weekend?
It is this weekend. Yeah. So I just said I'd like to opt driving over flying, but there was not enough time for me to drive with the amount of interviews and crazy things I did today. So I'm flying in tomorrow, and I'm actually really excited. Firstly, I've never been to a soccer grand final. I don't know if that's bad for me to say or good, but I'm super excited because I'm going to be in my hometown for it anyway. We're going to be launching the new single there, so I get to play Do It Right in the middle of a home crowd, and just get to watch the full grand final.
Yes. How great. So once you finish the performance and that, you can knock off and actually enjoy the game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. We've got a little photo shoot with the Townsville Bulletin on Saturday, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll put on my long socks and my boots and pretend to play soccer, and I thought I would try it in the backyard, and I almost went. So that's not going to happen. I'm just going to sit with my guitar and do the stereotypical.
Yeah.
Come back to do that. Might be safer.
Yeah. I'm too uncoordinated for this stuff, hey?
So, and you're then heading out on tour, I believe. This is all.
Yeah, it is. So I'm super, it's just really nice to be back out on tour. I was on tour before COVID hit, and then I think it cancelled about 3 of our shows, so that was a little bit sad. But, I'm just excited to get back out there and see everybody because, I know how stir crazy in my mind I was going, staying at home and not being able to see people and not being social, not being able to see live music. So it's genuinely nice that things are starting to calm down a lot in Queensland and we are allowed to get out there, and it's just going to be nice to see everyone. It's been a while.
It's been, a long while.
Yeah.
January was a long time ago. That's when I saw everyone, I think.
Yeah. Where tour heading? Have you got through the new year? Have you got planned that far?
I kind of do and I kind of don't. So I've got a second single coming out. I don't really have a date yet. Beck and I haven't rolled up a date yet, but we've got another single coming out. And then I want to work my butt off on an album. So I started writing in the middle of COVID. I wrote with Maddie Cornell and Mike Carr. I wrote with a whole bunch of people on Zoom over in Nashville and stuff. So I've got the bones there, but I need to really work on it because this is going to be a new sound. I think with Do It Right coming out as the first single off the album, it's really going to set the bar of where I want to go and those little tweaks to my sound that I'm really loving. So I think I'm going to take after the big tour for Do It Right and then possibly for the second single, I'm going to take a little bit of time and just relax, record, write, dig deep, and then hopefully come out with something maybe around June, July-ish.
Ooh, there you go, Beck. Lock it in. Yeah, just at the middle of, hats off time. Is that right?
Hopefully we're all back doing festivals and life is back to whatever is going to receive.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be
so if you've been working at all through COVID or just writing and being at home?
I was just writing and being at home. I did start playing shows probably about, I think it might have been a month or maybe 2 months ago. There wasn't many. There was only a few and very limited numbers. So they were very, tiny little rooms and just were really intimate, which is actually quite nice, but I personally am missing dancing. So I know I did a lot of dancing on my back patio during COVID, but I need to
been practicing the moves.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I didn't practice my soccer moves enough, but
But next
just leave that to the experts.
For the next soccer for the next back. That's what's going to be happening. That'll be great. Yes. Wow. What a day for you. So Beck checked the single. You were talking to us before we went, and Beck was like, "Where is it at the charts now?" And it hit number 13 just before we went live. So
cool.
How amazing!
Do you know what? When I first put out music ever, I would kind of sit there and watch the charts and go, "Oh my gosh, look at where we're at now! This is super exciting!" And I kind of I would just lose a whole day. Here's Jade. Not really a productive thing to do. So, and then obviously my manager's like, well, you've got interviews and you've got this and you've got to film this and do this. And I was like, okay, so I can't do that. So now I just kind of, when if it tweaks like, a couple spots or something, I get the text or the call from my mum. She's like, it's gone up. You're going down. Cheers.
You need to do something in the next interview because you've just gone down one. Go.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Quick, kick a soccer ball.
Do something funny so they remember you.
See, I need a kangaroo named Rona. This is what I'm doing wrong.
No radio, no kangaroo, no amazing hat. You know.
No. The only thing I did in this interview, I made my finger bleed. My partner had to get me.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know how, but talent.
Wow.
Yeah. I can drink with you. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. If you're worried about doing silly things, I'm sorry, but all eyes won't be on you because I would have been the person that fell off the chair.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're not going to be too accident prone on the island, fall off the stage or anything like that.
I am already planning no heels. I'm wearing sandals. I've got this. Yeah, I've already planned it. I'm not kidding.
I like that. You can wear the thongs that they put, the Aussie thong boots.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pull out my Crocs.
Oh,
you could do that. Well, I believe the only time you actually have to wear shoes is on stage, so you can be barefoot for the rest of the time.
This is amazing. This is awesome.
right.
I can do this.
We do our best.
All festivals should be on a tropical island. This is perfect.
I know, right? I actually feel like we get to go to this little island paradise and drink our cocktails in the sand. Maddie better be making his Maddie margaritas.
Oh, mojitos.
Or mojitos. I tell you what, Beck, if you have one of these margaritas, have a chair ready because it's going to knock you around. I'm telling you, I've drunk with Maddie before and we've had margaritas and it's hard.
He has sent me the instructional videos. I do have the instructional videos. They scare me too much, so I haven't actually attempted.
Yeah. Yeah, proceed with caution.
Now, tell us, where can we get your single? Where can we get your merchandise?
It is all over iTunes, Spotify, all those good streaming, fun downloading platform things. I'm really selling it. And I have this awesome little music video that we made in Townsville, and it's on YouTube. It's live. Everyone can go and check it out. I have this gorgeous lady named Mel in Townsville, and I think she's posted. She does my social media when I'm not around, so I think she's posted links and everything to it. It's all up there, and if you love it, tell me. If you don't, tell me. That way I can. I probably can't fix it now. It's already out there, but at least. Although I actually, you know what? I thought this was a good win for country music today. I had a gentleman message me, and he literally wrote, I normally hate country music.
Oh.
I did this. And he said, thanks so much, mate. Good job. And I was like, yes, we scored one.
On a winner. On a winner.
Yeah.
That's great. Yes, I love that. You've turned a new country music fancy. We're breaking them in.
That's right. Look, all we need is one at a time. And if we can all do that, everyone will be converted in no time.
The world will be country.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And Beck, thank you, because this is all on you. I don't know how you do what you do. You're incredible.
She is, isn't she? She's a gem.
Well, I get a reward in the middle of November because I get to go and hang out with these people on a tropical island.
Yeah, she's the hardest working person I've known through COVID. She hasn't stopped, and she's been everybody's counsellor as well. She's including me.
A bit of that going on.
Including me. It's like, Beck, and she's like, oh no.
Here we go. Let me get a coffee.
Yeah, I usually get her, she'll be doing a workout. I'm like, are you doing sit-ups? She's like, yeah, well, this happened. She's like, what?
Well, I know Beck is totally great Keppel ready, but I tell you what, I'm dealing with that COVID body.
Oh, you are not? Oh, you are so dreamy.
No. But it's all right. We'll all have a couple of margaritas and nobody will be able to see.
No one will care. Everyone's going to be worried about getting the margarita, the next one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
exactly.
This is as close as I'm going to get. You know what, though? I'm in Tassie, and we had, honestly, we nearly had a heat wave today. It was 23 at midday.
Oh, 23, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I was grabbing a jumper at that point.
I was at work, and everyone's going, geez, it's warm. And I thought this morning it was freezing. The first few people I went to see was complaining about the cold. Then after that, everyone's going, it's hot, isn't it?
23 degrees, woo!
It's hot, yeah.
Nope.
You had hail in Tamworth.
True.
We had pretty much snow. It was like snow.
Yeah,
it was great.
That looked incredible. Well, thank you so much, Jay. I really hope to talk to you again for the next single, and I really hope we'll do some posts from Country on Keppel and your launch, and we'll keep in touch because it's just incredible.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Thank you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
See you later.